So many of you have heard many transformation stories, experiences after receiving a restoration session from me. But many of you have not heard my story. What has brought me here to this point where I know I am able to help others, because it's not a test without a testimony. So you heard my stories in pieces. You heard about my skin issues. You've heard about my issues that I had but may not have known what started my full journey. And some of it I will leave for my book, so you will not hear it all. But I will say this. Several years back, had been in one of the darkest places of my life. And during that time, I needed help. Yeah, I turned to Reiki because at that point I probably was in Reiki level 2. But I still needed more support. You know, the wonderful thing about Reiki is that not only can you use it for other people, you can use it for yourself. But it just wasn't enough. So I had to be real and ask myself, what is going on that you need to get out of this space of burdensome, depressed, anxious, not knowing what to expect for the future. You have to get out of this space. Single mom. At the time I had 2 children, very young children that I had to provide for. Still provide a roof over their heads, food in their belly. Had to do all of the heavy labor lifting. Didn't have money to pay anybody. So I had to figure out what I was going to do. So without revealing everything that I did, I will say what did not work. I went to a therapist. Thankfully, she was able to see I needed more support. So she referred me to a psychiatrist. And I went to a psychiatrist. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I went inward. And my psychiatrist says I'm going to have to prescribe psychotropic medication. The medication that she was going to prescribe me was for depression and anxiety, because that's what I had. After a few sessions with her, she noticed a change in me. And she said, I wanted to wait before I prescribed you psychotropic medication, but I see that you are okay. How did you do it? What did you do? How did you do it? So I didn't share with her, because I notice a lot of times when you talk about alternative lifestyles, holistic lifestyles, people in other industries tend to get a little uncomfortable with those conversations. So I kept that to myself. But yeah, I kept that one to myself. So one of those moments where I'm literally drawing a blank, because when you're someone who's intuitive, you'll be thinking something and then something else will tell you, stop right here. Don't say anything else. That's it. So I'm going to be obedient and stop right there. Because apparently That's enough for right now. But what I will say is this. One of my clients was seeing me because she was having some challenges. A lot of pain in her solar chakra area, tightness in the chest, and she was really struggling to figure out what was going on. Went to the doctors, they said she was fine. But again, she did not feel fine, as you have heard me say before. She did not feel fine. She went to her therapist. Her therapist has been working with her for however many months, and nothing was working. She said I was her last resort because everything else she tried was not working. So she turned to me. She said she just found my number. She saw, I don't even know if she saw my reviews, but she just called, went for it, and she had an amazing session and kept going consistently. Then out of nowhere, she sent me a text message and said, I'm not going to be returning. And I was so upset because it just felt, again, when you're intuitive, you understand. And pardon this weird headband, it's distracting me. But anyway, she said, thank you for all you've done, but I won't be returning. So I humbly said, all the best to you. Then, when something just does not feel right in your spirit and you just can't understand it. So I just kept her in my thoughts. And one day, I was thinking about her, and she reached out to me. And I thought about her so much so, she reached out to me the same day I was thinking about her intently. And she told me, I need to come back. A lot has happened since I left you. And I think she was away from me for a few months. She said a lot has happened, maybe 3 months, because that's typically my number, right? 3. I don't know what it is with 3s. But she said, I need to return to you immediately. She said, I didn't tell you, but my therapist told me to stop going to you. I said to myself, that's not nice. She had already told me that her therapist asked, what are we doing in our sessions? What is happening that she is transforming? She is restoring herself. What is going on? What are you all working on together? She was more concerned about what I was doing with her than what she was doing with her. And again, I'm sure the concern is, how could she do so much for you in such a short amount of time? And I've been working with you for months, maybe even a year. So she told me that that was the only reason she left me, because that was her therapist's recommendation. So she left. Hear my birds? I love my babies. My birds are like my babies. They make such beautiful noise to keep me happy when I get out here. Anyway, so she left, begged to come back. I said, of course you can come back. Why would I reject your invitation to return? So she went on to say that she had a panic attack. Her anxiety was through the roof, and she was hospitalized for 2 days. Again, they couldn't find anything wrong with her. So she's like, I thought about you intensely, and I just need to go back to being restored. I said, here I am. So from my situation, from her situation, again, I am not by any means saying stop going to your therapist. But listen to your body first. If you feel that your sessions with me feel restorative, there is nothing that anyone else can say to you to change that. Whatever the therapist's reasons were her own feelings. Now I have a client who I need to see immediately because she needs restoration. But I will say this, because this warmed my heart. And it wasn't about money. It was about the love that I had for her and anyone else who is welcoming in my space. We spoke on the phone. Immediately, she felt relief. That is my offering. Peace, relief, restoration, returning to self. I've been on this journey of returning to myself from the time that I was able to walk and talk and drive a car, just seeking knowledge and understanding. And so I say all that to say, I'm giving you a small piece of what you can offer, of what I can offer you, if you are willing to enter my space of restoration. The only requirement that I ask of you before you enter my space is to come with an open heart. I will do the rest. As your nervous system guide, that is my job. I will do the rest. Just be willing and open to the process. It may not look the way you expect it to, but you should feel relief. You should feel relief. That's the only prerequisite. So if you are ready, I'm offering a special